So,
Yeah.
So with the hack squat, you want to make sure that you line up these ridges here, right? You want your foot to be slightly inside those ridges. Same thing on this side, slightly. And so you want to be slightly inside the ridges, and you want your palm to be exactly on the ridge. Same thing here, but you want it reversed. Okay? You're going to sit down to where you are. Your knees are at the midfoot, right? Knees are at the midfoot, and your butt is back. Okay? And now you're going to stand straight up. Down, straight up. If you are feeling it go up against your body like this, that means that your knees are not at your midfoot. So again, from here, but all the way back, and straight up. The don'ts. First thing, make sure that you are centered. Do not go to lift this weight and you're not in the center. Line your midsection up with the middle of the bar. Again, make sure that your feet are inside the ridge, and then toes straight ahead. Do not have your toes out here. Do not have your toes in here. You want the toes straight ahead. We're at 12 o'clock.
Which muscles are you going to be feeling this in?
You should be feeling it predominantly in your glutes and hamstrings. Okay?
The back of your legs.
Now, if you have a little bit of quads, that's fine. But you should not be feeling this at all in your low back. If you're feeling your low back, then you are doing the exercise incorrectly. Again, it's about the sit back, grab. Okay? You have to sit back. Have to sit this down. Right?
Can you talk to us about the hand placement, why one hand is forward and one hand is back?
So, optimal hand placement. Now, you can have both hands this way, but when you have one supinated, the other pronated, it is optimal for you because you don't have that rocking back. When you have heavy weight underneath you and you have both hands like this, it's going to tend to make you want to step back. So that's why when you have this hand carrying and holding it the weight this way, it doesn't give you that rocking back and forth. If you have both hands this way, then you're going to want to lean forward. So having one hand and the other hand gives you the most optimal balance. All right? So again, some people do it with both hands that way. I tell them not to because you want to be balanced in this exercise. You want the glutes to get all the work. This is not a core exercise. You'll feel some in the core because it's your stabilization muscle, but it should not be your primary muscle. So the glutes should get the primary work. Again, I don't care which hand is pronated, which hand is supinated, but again, one, I usually use my most dominant hand is always the one I have top over. My weaker hand I have under, right? And then the last thing, always make sure that your load is the same. And always put your clamps on. So make sure your load is the same, meaning you have the same amount of weight, and always make sure that you have your clamps on. Do this, but I don't have any rack to put this weight on. So we're gonna have to do it this way. You're gonna take the weight, you're gonna clean it. Make sure when you clean this weight, you're coming from that same deadlift position. So remember, you wanna make sure that you're at this deadlift position. You're gonna take the weight, you're gonna flip, press, and now you should be centered. Okay, so now, this is the importance when we squat. Watch my feet. You're gonna have one foot at 11. You're gonna have one foot at 1. So this is my 11 o'clock. This is my 1 o'clock, right? Now, you're going to feel for where your optimal hand placement is. For me, this is where I like to put my hands, and then I sit the weight all the way back on my traps. Okay? You don't want the weight on your neck. You're gonna fall forward. You want it as far back on your traps, and you want your glutes engaged. So now you see they're not engaged, now my glutes are engaged. You're gonna have your glutes engaged because what this is doing is activating your core muscles, right? So my core is engaged. Now you're gonna sit down with the weight. So you're gonna sit down into that squat here. And you want your knees over the midfoot. Now, if it goes over the toes, that's fine. That's more quad. But you want the knees over the midfoot. Again, that's how you activate the glute. Back up. Again, back over the midfoot. Up. Again, over the midfoot. Up. And again, there's other variations. You can do squat to activate your quads. That's where you put the knees in front of the toes. All right? That's it.